got that cap on yet?
I'm really struggling. Got it.
You know, it took me less than an hour to adapt that 50s carburetor onto that 90s engine.
It took us almost 2 hours to find a carburetor that worked.
Well, it took longer to find it, though, than it did to actually get it going. And it just took you like 5 minutes to put the gas cap on.
Shut the fuck up. Don't bleep that in me.
No? You remember how to start it?
No.
Okay. See that? See that guy right there?
Here.
That's the choke. Pull it out. Okay. Remember what that is?
The idle thing.
That's the throttle. Give it about half. There you go. Okay. And then just brace. Put a hand here so it doesn't tip over on you.
It's gonna get loud.
Yeah. Get the drum spun up.
Put it in the earbuds.
And the drum should start it for you. Put your safety glasses on. Really? Go get your safety glasses. While you're doing that, I'll tell everybody what we configurated here.
Okay.
Okay. That's a pile of brush. That's a pile of brush from cutting a buttload of firewood. And it got to the point where we had so much brush that it's gonna be way too much headache to burn it. The county we live in, anything, even if you're just, cleaning up some bad trees and stuff, or cutting your own firewood on your property, you still got to get a burning permit for anything over 4 foot by 4 foot. And a lot of times, I've had to fall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so far 8 alder trees. No, 9, correction, 10 alder trees so far. Just trying to fix so that if I have to have shoulder surgery this winter, Katie and Grandma Landlady don't have to worry about big messes out in the backyard from blowdowns and stuff. And a lot of them were way bushier than I realized when I brought them down. The original plan was I was just gonna make small, 4x4 no permit needed piles of brush. However, every time I come out here and work, I find another tree that's got to come down, and it's always bushier when it hits the ground than it is when I get the chainsaw out. So here's the solution I came up with. This thing's been kicking around the place forever. Got it out of the barn. Not going to show you how we got it out. Let's just say it involved the winch, a couple of blocks, and some rafters. And it's got one of them old-fashioned siphon carburetors on it. And it had been sitting for God knows how long with some of that new ethanol gas in it. And it ruined it. However, I had an old 50s Model 3 horse kicking around in my shed with a compatible carburetor design that doesn't even know what ethanol gas is. Slapped it on there and it fired up on the first pull. Seriously, why do you... Every time I tell her to go get safety glasses, she always grabs my good freaking sunglasses.
I couldn't find any pairs.
Right, and that's your story and you're sticking to it.
Yep.
Anyway, well, get a drink, get your noise canceling going, drop your squints, and show all the bush hippies how easy this thing is to start. Cool thing about this, as opposed to a lot of the newer models of wood chippers, it's direct drive. The drum fastens right onto the back of the engine, so it actually makes it easier to start.
That sounded special.
It's just the knives. Let it warm up a minute. So I got it running pretty good, but unfortunately, I could not make that damn thing quieter. So Katie's chipping, I'm gonna show you why I need chips. This is the trail out to the pump house. You can't even see it right now because it's so overgrown. And that's a big old mud hole with standing water. Pretty much a lake right in the blasted way. So the plan is, all the brush from cutting the rest of the firewood for the winter is going to get chipped up. And then when we're done, it's going to get hauled out here and dumped in this hole so that hopefully I can fill the blasted thing in. Even if it's only good enough for this winter, I'll take it. Because it can be a real bear trying to get around out here, especially in the wintertime, and I really don't like the idea of trying to walk around out here to fix something with my arm in a sling. Look at her looking all stern and stuff. I'm really lucky with this kid. I mean, how many 15-year-old girls will stand there over a noisy ass freaking wood chipper, or grab a chainsaw, or set chokers for their dad? She's a good kid. Don't let her tell you otherwise. So originally I was just going to let that old sucker rust in peace and just rent a big chipper, like when I was all done or something, and just get it all done in a weekend. Then I found out it's $310 for 8 hours of run time, and it won't chew the smaller stuff that's 90% of what I'm trying to get rid of here. And not only that, I'm an Inside Track Club member at Harbor Freight, so I could have screwed around and, if needs be, put a new engine on that sucker and spent about half of what it would cost to rent one that wouldn't even do what I was trying to do anyway. Now that we've just about got the firewood taken care of, next thing on my to-do list, just in case I have to have surgery on that shoulder, is I want to make sure that Cadence isn't having to work so hard this winter taking care of chores and stuff while I'm laid up that she winds up as banged up as I am. So, gonna be turning some wrenches. I've got a few gadgets, gizmos, old contraptions laying around that I've accumulated over the years that I'm gonna fix up for the kid to use this winter. And me to use as soon as I feel up to it. Here's one right now. Alright, how many of y'all have seen one of these before? It's one of them old DR Power Wagons. Essentially, it's a gas-powered wheelbarrow with a 4-speed lawnmower transaxle. It's got 4 forward gears, neutral, reverse, throttle control right here. Just works off of a centrifugal clutch. It's even got electric start. Unfortunately, the charger for that battery was discontinued about 20 years ago. But I have a workaround. So this is its engine right here on my workbench. I just got done giving it an overhaul. Okay, it's a little rinky-dink, but she's a runner. Check it out. High-tech shut-off switch. Yeah. New head gasket, new carburetor, cleaned everything up good. She runs great. Starting it, however, you probably noticed I'm not using the original battery because it's way the hell over there and deader than a doornail. So, here's the setup. Jumper wires plugged into the main engine harness, bypassing the switch wire. That's this. There's a keyed ignition switch over there on that machine too. And we come down here, and boom. Dissected one of those crappy Ryobi flashlights. And the starting system on this thing is now 18 volt. Runs off of a standard Ryobi tool battery. So, yeah, I'm gonna get this buttoned up, back together, get this machine back into service. Alrighty, so the engine's mounted, she runs, drives, I've test ran her, used her to do a little bit of chores. All I got left to do is, I think, I'm going to make something a little more solid to hold my battery connection. So what I'm doing here, I decided I'm just going to keep it simple. Just got a nice sharp chisel, and I'm just carving out these extra little reinforcement support bits on the inside of the body of the old broken flashlight that I dissected to get that battery connector out of. Don't gotta do anything special, I'm just gouging it out deep enough and wide enough that the bigger wires that I soldered onto the connector can lay down in it, nice and pretty. And then I'm going to mount it onto the frame of the wagon, and it'll give me a nice solid place for my battery to ride. It'll lock everything down. It won't be flopping around all over the place, rattling off into the great unknown when the engine's running, because we do got a little bit of vibration. Let's see if that's enough. Yeah, it looks like it'll do it. Okay, so I already got one side put in. You can see the negative wire lays in that groove I cut, nice and pretty. Just gotta get some of the kinks out of my positive. Get everything lined up where it needs to be, and she should close up. Here we are. Okay. Now, where'd that battery that I had go? Oh, here it is. Okay. Flip her over. Yeah, positive's going to go to positive, negative's going to go to negative. Okay, I just got to throw the screws in this so it stays together, and then I can mount it on the wagon. Alright, I got it mounted on there, kinda, using a clamp that I found in one of my random junk drawers, and one of the holes for the original battery bracket. All we do now, take a Ryobi battery, click her in there, and she cranks up. It's going to look like crap for a while though, because I'm out of zip ties, but it's not going to fall off. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I know it got a little bit eclectic, but hey, when you go like I do, every now and then you just got to stop and turn a few wrenches. So, if you like this kind of stuff, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Next week we're going to be messing around with my little garden tractor that you've seen in some of the other videos, and I've got to replace the belt on it, so I figure it's a good time to give you a good solid look at it, some of the stuff that I've done to it to turn it into a more useful machine. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.